I have to say, I was watching the news, the follow-up news this morning, just to see and make sure that the good people of the United States, of whatever we are, who stormed the rebels, I think they call them. So I'm like, rebels without a cause. Yeah, they're just like, I like breaking stuff, right? They didn't hurt anybody. Nothing was reported. I did see this one guy. I was like, oh my God, it's my long lost father. He had some, he left Nancy on her folder, like a note. I'm like, my kind of guy. I was like, gee whiz. I was like, right. I mean, there are people out there. I can't believe it. And then to see like the good servicemen inside barricaded, all 5 of them, because they with their guns out, while the unarmed patrons of the state of whatever we are were just making themselves known, shaking a little, rattling a few cages, but not like physically harming anyone. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean, I didn't want to partake because God forbid I perform an illegal action while I'm trying to collect qubits and tetrabits of intelligence here and there from like the 5 people on the earth that know what the fuck that means. In their own illegal operation of like being born. I mean, look at us. I mean, just how could we? Alright, so let's think about this. Alright, so that was I'm thinking that's, like, again, I have no confirmation on it. They don't say it on the news, but, and it did not pan out to show the landscape of Washington. So it does bring in that multiple capital situation. But I'm going to go with, if I had to guess, which I normally don't, but if I do, I always... Alright, if you're going to speculate, alright, I always make mention and mark the air. Oh, that's the other thing. So now, there's one human that's known, who has this, like, special talent of knowing exactly where she is in geography, whether it be Tetra space or whether it be the hominid, like, they move. Not by their own imagination. They just are on some special timing mechanic, and not everyone's hooked up and wired into the same box. Right, okay. So there's one leading electrician, right? This is the other funny thing. A guy, right? I talked to someone who was like my long-lost dad who left a note for Nancy Pelosi, right? I talked to someone like him once, and he was just like, you just don't seem to be a team player. I'm like, here's the funny thing. I don't like being single, solo, and separate. I'm a big team player. It's just when there's lack of equipment on the field, sometimes when there's a job to do, you have to just make it work. So I have one equipment operator, I have one listening device I called a child, and then I've got the rest of the baby boomer idiots wired into somebody else's holiday account of making money. Yeah, right. So, but when I am in a team, I don't know, they usually put me as something, whatever. But, and the other thing is that I'm a woman in a man's world, because he runs a man's team, and I'm just supposed to be pretty on his arm, which is really where I prefer, just as an observer, and whatever. Good conversation at home. But I just don't get this world. Like, that concept alone, even when I was like 4 and 5, they were like, now, like, I understand, because, like, that's Aunt Carol's generation, like, the doo-woppers, but, like, I'm thinking by the time Stevie came along, because he's the last baby out of the 10, right, his people were saying that was, like, going out, or, like, they weren't going to be doing that anymore, and I'm like, right, okay, so I'm, like, 20 years younger than Steve, so when's that going to cycle back to, like, smart Aunt Carol's generation? I'm just curious, because, like, what, so now Uncle Stevie decided with his gay friends in New York City, and, like, now we all have to go down to shit it together? I mean, like, how'd that happen? Like, why do you let it cycle from like, oh, that looks nice, to like, oh, wait a minute, oh, no, that doesn't look good. That looks like trouble. And then what? You're like, nobody can get it back up again, or like happily ever after? Then why do you let it slide down so bad? Anyway, so let's think about this, right? Okay, so I got one girl, star 1978, Nicole Cataruza, 8378. I've got, since I was little, marked time in multiple TETRA system that geographically positioned, anatomically positioned, and time mechanic, where the atmosphere, the aether, the ether, and the atmosphere, we'll just go with that per se, delta, alpha, gamma, that per se was not in congruence with what was being reported to safety and security at measurement and reporting. Like some new system just snuck in or shifted and added one more cage. And then I have people who designed aviation, like civil engineer, got into CAD as like special white guy, right? They were supposed to lock down the cage system, and then I was supposed to be picked up and brought over quiet and like happily ever after in U.S.S.R. territory. Why is it I'm still in the U.S. shitbags of forgotten children that get lied to, and nobody can cross the water? Like, I got some, like, penthouse asshole, like, holding me down in, I want to say it's the green cage, but I know that it sometimes slips to, like, an orange, depending on what inspector is trying to, like, whatever. I'm like, really, they're a bunch of assholes. They just keep changing shit on the day, because they know your schedules. I mean, like, you really lost your sense of, like, I mean, why don't you just kill the things that are managing this shit? Like, honestly, because they're playing around with stuff. It's really fucking dangerous. And they're not doing anybody any good. But anyway, so, and here's the other thought process. So, I've been marking my shit. I'm the one that, like, if you had to start this project, you just found out about this today. Oh, what, great, because we're starting up and we're going to do things the right way today. I got one girl, she's over in, like, New York. She's been doing whatever we need, so we have at least one study case, so we can just know what the problems are, and boom, we can just fix them from here. Great, okay, so what happened? Well, I've been waiting since 4. Oh, are you one of those shitbag managers? They're like, well, I got here first. I know she exists. She just said she exists, so I don't need her. Oh, okay. So somebody else does the work, and you make they make mention of it, like, in case you forgot, right? Team member on the, like, maybe you missed it or somebody deleted it. I don't know. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. And then they're like, no, I'll just take her work and I'll just whatever with whatever I got. Wait a minute, are you the shitheads that have been breaking fucking shit? Like, you're taking her words and you're making it worse. That's what it feels like. It's what it looks like. I'm just saying. Right, and so now, I mean, like, dishonorable mention? Oh, I have so many of those. Oh, you guys play a good game. And then you get the good ones all riled up, like, today you know, I'm not talking to you. I know you exist somewhere. Like, there's like 5 of you that God built right. I'm talking about the not you, like the anti-you. Did you even wake up? Did anyone even tell you at the academy that those guys exist? Yeah, they pretend. They go to, like, they wrestle hard with you at whatever it is that makes you feel special. They put on the same uniform, and then they go out and they make you look really fucking bad. So, shh.